intelligence to understand their relationship to God if they can hear from a bona fide devotee of the Lord. So this ceremony for Tulasi and Saligram is incomprehensible to materialistic people. How can a plant be married to a rock, you say? But we're going to explain now very quickly how that's possible. So in the spiritual world, Tulasi was an eternal consort of Krishna, and she was a manjari. A manjari are they are pre-teens. They're younger than the teenage age, and they're very innocent, and they're able to be present in the intimate pastimes of Radha and Krishna, and they're very intimate servants of Krishna because they're very, very young, and they're always serving the needs of Radha and Krishna. So one day Srimati Radharani found that Krishna was alone with Tulsi Devi, and although she was very young, obviously she was intimately connected with the Lord, and Radharani, seeing this and understanding the mind of Tulsi, Tulsi wanted to marry Krishna, but that was not possible in that situation. So Radharani gave Tulsi a benediction in the form of a curse. Anytime a pure devotee curses someone, it's actually a benediction and not something negative. So she told Tulsi that you must go and appear in the material world because you are alone with my Krishna. So in the spiritual world, people are not distressed at all. So Tulsi did not get upset, and she accepted the curse benediction of Radharani. It so happens that there was also a young Gopa in the spiritual world. The Gopas are the cowherd boys that are with Krishna all the time, taking care of the cows. And by the way, Krishna is a cowherd boy, and the gopis are cowherd girls. You see how important the cow is, especially the Surabhi cow or Kamadhenu. And that's why we have a farm in Redmond, and we have another farm in Auburn, and we protect cows. We don't eat them like the Americans and the Europeans and even the Indians are doing now, eating cows, even in India. You see how fallen people have become. But Krishna loves cows, and he protects them. He never lets them have any stress. He's very affectionate with them. He pets them. He feeds them. He takes them out every day with his Gopa friends. And Nanda Maharaj had 900,000 cows. And they didn't have to buy NPK fertilizer. The cows fertilized the land in Vrindavan because they had so much milk that the milk was dripping from their udders and fertilizing the land. So there are very miraculous things happening in the spiritual world. They could happen in the material world also if we could get our attention away from the internet, from nonsense, from Elon Musk and Bezos and all these crazy people who want you to go to the moon or want you to go to Mars and live there. Anybody want to volunteer to go? No, because you would not be able to exist there. When Bezos announced that he was going, when Elon Musk said he was going to put a spaceship into Mars, he asked if anyone would volunteer. You know how many people volunteered? By the way, it's a one-way trip. You know how many people volunteered? 150,000 crazy people in this world volunteered to do it. You see how crazy people have become, right? Why don't we make the Earth again a environmentally friendly place and protect cows and stop eating so much, stop eating meat, and grow our own food and live in natural homes without artificial inorganic chemicals all around us. They give us cancer and so forth. No, we've been duped. We've been cheated to think that there's only one way of living, and we're living like animals, just eating, sleeping, mating, defending, and ignore our relationship with God. So the temple is based to help us re-establish our relationship with God. So Tulsi appears in the material world, and the Gopa, or the cowherd boy that had his eyes on Tulsi in the spiritual world, he was also cursed to come to the material world. And in this way, eventually, when Tulsi was born, right from the very moment of her birth, and through her development as a young, beautiful devotee, she was always thinking of Krishna. And she was doing great tapasya, or austerities, in order to have Krishna as her husband. And Lord Brahma appeared before her and said, "My dear girl, you are doing all these tapasyas. What is your purpose?" And she said, "I want to have Krishna as my husband." He said, "That cannot happen right away." She said, "Why not?" He said, "You have to marry the Gopa that had was praying also to have you as his wife." She said, "Why should I marry somebody else? I only want to marry Krishna. I don't want to marry anyone else." He said, "No, you have to first marry him. And then later on, his name in the material world was Sankakuda. And later on, Krishna will marry you." So Tulsi again did not object, although she was horrified that she has to marry someone else besides Krishna. And she acquiesced completely to Brahma's instruction. And eventually she did marry Sankakuda. Now Sankakuda had been blessed. He came from the spiritual world, of course. He was a Gopa. That as long as Tulsi would remain faithful to him, he would never be killed by anyone. And secondly, he was blessed with a protective golden armor. He was born like that. And as long as he had that armor on his body, no one could kill him. So whenever someone has a specialty, like for example having a lot of money or having a lot of power, they always abuse it. And they become puffed up with false ego and begin to do outrageous things. Why are you putting it there? Why are you putting it? Who told you to put it there? You put it back here. You put it back here. Just do what I say. Put it back here. Okay. So this was an amazing thing that Sankakuda had such power. And of course he misused it. Anyone who's puffed up with money and power, they usually misuse it and exploit other people with it. So he began to attack the Devatas, and especially Lord Shiva. One day he told Tulsi, "You know, Tulsi, Lord Shiva's wife, is very beautiful, Parvati. I want to marry her. I'm going to take her away from Lord Shiva." And she was horrified when she heard this. She said, don't even think of such a thing. You can't defeat Lord Shiva. He is almost like Krishna. He's almost as powerful as the Lord. He said, no. No one can kill me because of this armor and because of your faithfulness to me. So she said, listen, I will do anything you want. Anything you want, I will do to please you. Just don't take this out of your mind. Don't do this. But of course he ignored her, and he went to war with the Devas, and he was specifically seeking to fight with Lord Shiva. Of course, you cannot defeat Lord Shiva, but he was such a powerful fighter, and he couldn't be killed, that he was always being victorious. So the fighting with the Devas started, and it was very catastrophic, and eventually the Devas became very disturbed by this Sankakuda, and they complained to Lord Brahma. And Lord Brahma said, "Okay, look, whenever there's a monumental problem in this material world, I have to go and see Lord Vishnu, or at least talk to him." Brahma couldn't see Lord Vishnu because he has a planet in the middle of the ocean of milk called Sweta Dvipa, on the higher material planets in this world. But the Devas are able to go to the shore of that planet, which is surrounded by the ocean of milk, and speak to the Lord and hear the Lord. So Brahma went and supplicated Lord Kshirodakshaya Vishnu to please help them. And Kshirodakshaya Vishnu said, "Please don't worry. I'm going to appear and I will save all of you. So don't worry about this. It'll be just a little bit of, just be a little bit patient, and this will be taken care of." So at that time, eventually, Lord Krishna appeared as a humble brahmana, and in the middle of the battlefield, he went to meet Sankakuda. And Sankakuda, although he was acting as a demon, but still he knew that you should never insult the brahmana, because the brahmana tejas, the power of genuine brahmanas, not the phony brahmanas who just do pujas for money, but the real brahmanas who are completely, they don't have gold chains, they don't have golden watches, they don't have BMWs, and they're not fat. They're very, very simple and completely dedicated to serving the Lord. So Krishna appears in this guise, and he says, "Bhikshu Dan, please give me some bhikshu, give me some a gift." And immediately, Sankakuta says, "Yes, my father." He said, "What do you want?" He said, "Give me your armor." And right away, he took off the armor and gave it to him, because he understood that the curse of a Brahma would defeat him completely. At that time, Brahmanas were very, very powerful. They never used their power in a wrong way, but people listened to them because they were pure. Today, most of the Brahmanas have been corrupted by education, material education, and so forth. And if they remain as Brahmanas, they usually only do pujas for money, to make money and maintain their family. And that nobody really makes any spiritual advancement by being connected to Brahmanas like that. And that's why India is in a very poor situation today. So much conversions are taking place because the Brahmanas are not doing their duty to have a vow of poverty, and even though they receive dan or charity, they should distribute it to the people. So one example of that was Tukaram. Any times people gave him something, he would give it away to the people and live very simply. Another example is a friend of Krishna who was a very, very simple Brahmana, and Krishna blessed him with great opulence, but he gave it to his wife and his family and all the people in his village, but he remained a very simple and humble Brahmana. So we see that the Brahmanas today have deviated. In any case, immediately Sankakuta gave him his armor because he knew that he was still invincible, because Tulsi would always be chaste. And a chaste woman develops mystical powers, just like Sita Devi. She was kidnapped by Ravana, but Ravana could never defile her because she was always chaste and to Lord Rama. And eventually, when Ravana threatened her, he said, "Look, I'm going to give you a few more days. If you don't surrender to me, I'll kill you and eat you, because I am a Rakshasa." And that's what Rakshasas do. They eat meat and they eat people also. So the people who eat burgers with some meat in it, Ravana was able to put a human being in the burger, with 2 pieces of bread, and eat human beings. That's how powerful he was. So, but Sita was not afraid of him. She said, "Look, if you don't give me back to my husband voluntarily, my husband's going to come here with a whole army and wipe you out completely, you and all your 30 million Rakshasas." At that time, there were 30 million Rakshasas on the earth, and they were creating havoc all over the place. Of course, today, there are more than 30 million Rakshasas. There are hundreds and millions of them, eating meat and performing all kinds of sinful activities. But in any case, they were not as powerful, the Rakshasas, as in the time of Ravana. They were extremely powerful, extremely big, over 18 to 20 feet big, and they could do superhuman things, because the Rakshasas come from the asteroids, which are closer to the Earth than Mars and the Moon, and they are superior to human beings. But they misuse their powers, again, because they are not actually devotees of the Lord. So anyway, Sita was not afraid at all, and she always remained faithful to Rama. And Ravana could not touch her in the sense of defiling her, because he had done that so many times to other women that he had been cursed by a Brahmana, that if he forced a woman to surrender to him, he would die immediately. So he had to convince Sita Devi, and he wasn't able to do it because she was chaste. So any woman that becomes chaste, in other words, you can have children, of course, but sex should not be used for sensual pleasure. It should be used for procreation, and then take the responsibility of raising your children to become genuine devotees of the Lord. That was the original culture of India. Of course, all that is forgotten today, unfortunately. So what happened? Rama did not have a treasury. He was not king at that time. He was roaming in the forest looking for Sita Devi. But he made a pact with Sugriva and Hanuman, and he had a monkey army. But monkeys in those days were a lot more intelligent than the monkeys today. And with that monkey army, he built a bridge across from Kanyakumari to Lanka. And they crossed the bridge and completely defeated Ravana and all his 30 million Rakshasas and liberated Sita. And that's a big story, you know it. So in the same way, Tulsi was just as chaste as Sita Devi. And in order to break her chastity, Krishna had to trick her also. So this is a big story. So after he got the armor of Sankakuda, he transformed himself to look exactly like Sankakuda and came back to Tulsi. And when Tulsi saw him, she was afraid that maybe he had killed Shiva. But he came to her and he said, "My dear," he said, "I took your advice and I did not try and kill Shiva, and I have come back to you." And Tulsi was overwhelmed. She said, "My God," she said, "thank you very much. I couldn't imagine you killing Lord Shiva and taking his wife. Thank you, thank you." You know, she said, "Please come. I'm going to cook for you. I'm going to wash your feet now. I'm going to cook for you, and I'll do everything to please you." So by the time the dinner was over and they were together, as soon as Tulsi was alone with her husband, and she noticed that this is not her husband, although he looked exactly like him. She could understand this is not her husband. And at one point she looked at him and said, "Who are you exactly?" And at that point, Krishna smiled and transformed himself into his original form as Sham Sundar. And she was horrified. He said, "What? You're not my husband. You made me cheat on my husband." He said, "That's all right." He said, "Don't worry. This was necessary in order to stop your husband from trying to kill the Devatas." She said, "You are so stone-hearted. I curse you to be a stone," and immediately transformed into Shalagram Shila, this remarkable stone. And you can only find them on the Gandaki River in Nepal. They're not produced anywhere else. And each one is penetrated by a special type of worm that carves out a tremendous, complicated design on the inside of Shalagram Shila. And there are 108 different designs, and there are 108 different types of Shalagram Shilas. It's a miracle. And therefore, Shalagram Shila is worshipped as Krishna himself, because it was Krishna who transformed into the Shila by the curse of Tulsi Devi. And then Shalagram Shila spoke to Tulsi Devi, said, "Well, you just made me into a rock, so I'll make you into a plant, and so be it. Tatastu." Tulsi Devi transforms into this miraculous plant called Tulsi. And now the Devas have appeared, Brahma, Shiva, and all the Devas have appeared, and they perform the marriage of the Shalagram Shila to Tulsi Devi. And that's what we're going to do tonight, is remember that marriage and perform the same marriage here. And it's very important for you, because if you're married, you can do the Kanyadan, not Kanyadan, but you can do the Saptapada with Tulsi and Shalagram, and carrying them, and then you can circumambulate the fire. So any of the couples that want to do that, one time a gentleman came here, and he said, "Prabhu," he said, "I want you to perform a marriage ceremony for me." I said, "What? You're already married?" He said, "Yeah, but this is our 25th anniversary. We want to make our vows again because we love each other so much." And I was very surprised. I said, "Oh, that's a good idea." I said, "Most people after 25, 30 years of marriage, they want to get a divorce." But you want to reaffirm your vows of fidelity to each other. I said, "It's wonderful." And I performed again the marriage ceremony for them. It was a simple one. It was just an exchange. It's called Gandharva marriage, an exchange of garlands, and a new statement of vows of fidelity for each other. So tonight, if you want to do that, you can. Your husband and wife and different couples can do the circumambulation of the Saptapada at the end of the marriage sacrifice. Okay, so this is, does anyone want to ask a question about what I just explained? There's a lot more to this story, but I tried to give a synopsis of it very quickly, so you can understand what's happening here. What's the significance of 108? Yes, 108 is very significant because Krishna has 108 special gopis. Special gopis. He has millions of gopis, but 108 of them are very special. And even when he got married in Dwarka, there were 108 very special wives, right? So beginning with Rukmini and Satyabhama and others. So that 108 is a very auspicious number. Don't use it to win the lottery, of course, but it remembers the idea that Krishna has 108 very special gopis that are very intimately related to him. Any other questions? Okay, so now we're going to begin by first doing the Kalash Stapanam that our Srivas Prabhu, our Brahmana, is going to do. And then secondly, after that, we're going to do Shalagram Shila Puja. That is after we bring well, we're going to do this as a traditional marriage. So the first thing that happens in traditional marriage, the groom enters and is offered a lot of respect by the parents of the bride. So tonight we have sponsors some are going to sponsor Shalagram Shila, some are going to sponsor Tulsi Devi. Do we know who the sponsors are? Okay, so let's begin with the Kalash Stapanam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Well, while he's doing that, we're going to have a quick bhajan. Where are our Madanga players? What happened to them? Hurry up. Give it to them to put it on the screen, Prabhu. Jai Jai Krishna Mukunda Murari. Bolo Jai Jai Krishna Mukunda Murari. Jai 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 Krishna Mukunda Murari. Bolo Jai Jai Krishna Mukunda Murari. Jai Jai Krishna Mukunda Murari. Bolo Jai Jai Krishna Mukunda Murari. Karuna Sagara Kamalaya Nayaka. Karuna Sagara Kamalaya Nayaka. Karuna Sagara Kamalaya Nayaka. Kam Kamabara Dari Gopala. Kamkamabara Dari Gopala Jai Jai Krishna Mukunda Murari Bola Jai Jai Krishna Mukunda Murari 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 Bola Jai Jai Krishna Mukunda Murari Bola Jai Jai Krishna Mukunda Murari Kaliya Mardana Kamsani Sudana Kaliya Mardana Kamsani Sudana Kamala Laida Nayana Gopala Kamala Yada Nayana Gopala Jai Jai Krishna Mukunda Murari Bola Jai Jai Krishna Mukunda Murari Gopi Janamana Mohana Vyapaka Gopi Janamana Mohana Vyapaka Gopi Janamana Mohana Vyapaka Kubala Yalada Nila Gopala Kubala Yadala Nila Gopala Jai Jai Krishna Mukunda Murari Bola Jai Jai Krishna Mukunda Murari 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 Bola Bola Jai Jai Krishna Mukunda Murari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Rama Hare Hare Tell them not to do that until I come. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hey bolo, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hey, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Premanandi ki jai, Shri Krishna Bhagavan ki jai, Shri Radha Nilamadava ki jai, Tulasi Devi, Tulasi Saligram Srila Mahotsava ki jai.
Which one is blinking? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. Shri Krishna Bhagavan ki jai. Tulasi Saligram Vivaha ki jai. Gaura Premanandi. Well, thank you all for being here. So now we're going to have a traditional wedding ceremony for Tulasi and Saligram. And first we're going to receive Saligram and seat him. He'll be to the left side. And we will also perform Saligram Puja by our Brahmana Rajahari Prabhu. And then after that, we will welcome Tulasi Devi. And there'll be a procession with Tulasi and all her servants, and they will circumambulate the fire area, the mandap 7 times, and then she'll be seated next to Saligram. And then at that point, we'll begin the Kanyadan and the whole ceremony. And today we have sponsors who are, some are on the side of Tulasi Devi and others on the side of Saligram. So now the family of Tulasi are going to welcome Saligram. So they come forward, please. Who's the Tulasi's family side? Okay, whoever is doing this. Wait, stay here, just stand right here. Where's the plate? Where's the puja plate? Where's the puja plate? You told me there were 2 plates ready. Where are they? Hurry up. Okay, we're getting the puja plates. Your sponsor? Come on, where's your wife? You need your wife, Prabhu. She's your better half. You can't do anything without her. Is there a sweet? Go get a sweet. Hurry up. You need a sweet here. Where's the sweet? Please come in. Okay, now please come forward. I'll hold this. Okay, you light it. No, you stand behind them. For the time being. No, wait a minute. Stand behind them. Where's your wife?
Mataji.
Maharaj karita idare. Come here. Illatko bandu. Come here. Band parayilla bibbidu. Maharaj is asking to stand.
You have to stand next to him. Give that to someone else to film.
Okay.
Give it to him. Okay, we're waiting.
Obviously, all people make many mistakes. We don't have a sweet. We don't have a ghanta or bell. We don't have incense. So we're waiting to get those things in order to start. This is like Microsoft or Google. Whenever they have a demonstration of their new technology, it crashes. So it will crash today for us also. Now, I need incense. I need a bell. Where? Oh, okay. All right. Okay, light the incense. Okay, I'm going to stand over here. Oh, wait a minute. Gange cha yamuna chaiva. Stop the drums. Gange cha yamuna chaiva. Godavari saraswati. Narmade sindhu kaveri. Jalesmin sanidim kuru. Shri Vishnu. Where's the bell? Give it to him. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bola Hare Krishna. Come closer. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, very slowly, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Very slowly, very slowly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Come on, stand over here. Move over. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Come on. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gora Hari Bol, Nita Gora Hari Bol. Nita Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gora Hari Bol, Nita Gora Hari Bol. Nita Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gora Hari Bol, Nita Gora Hari Bol. Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gora Hari Bol, Nitai Gora Hari Bol. Saligram Shila Ki Jai. Okay, now we're going to greet Tulasi Devi Maharani. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Where's the plate? Where's the plate? No, but we need the other plate. Other plate? Yeah. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hey, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Wait. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, nice. Tulasi Devi Maharani ki jai. Rama Rama Hare Hare. Follow. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hey, follow. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hey, follow. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hey, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 slowly. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, slow. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama slow. Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hey, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Ram Hare Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Tulasi Devi Maharani ki, Tulasi Devi Maharani ki, Tulasi Devi Maharani ki, Pura Pramanande, Haribo, 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 So tonight we want to thank Rasavati Devi Dasi. Why?
He also helped in decoration.
And Padma Devi. They both have a lot of love for Tulsi Devi. Look how they decorated her. And also Saligram Shiva. Look how beautiful he is tonight. I pray that all of us receive the benediction of Tulsi and Saligram tonight. Do Saligram Shila Pujan.
Now we do the accent garland.
He already did. He already did.
Done there.
What?
Then the army will do it again.
He should do some quick puja here. So now we're going to have a short puja for Saligram Shila. These are deities. They're not statues. They're not what you call idols. These are actually deities. This is the actual Tulsi plant here that's been decorated. And Shaligram also has been decorated. Now our pujari, Bhajahari Prabhu, is going to perform a quick Shaligram Shila Puja. And then we'll begin the Kanyadan. Haribol. Everyone can, if you like, sit down. Take your time, sit down.
All of us also should sit down so they can see what's happening. Sit down, sit down. Or stand back there. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Tulasi Krishna Prayasi Namo Namaha, Radha Krishna Seva Pavo Abhilasi, ये तुम्हारा शरणा लासा तना वंश पूर्णा हो, कृपकारी करो थारे वृंदावन वासी, मुराए अभिलाष विलास कुंज दियो वास,
ప్రసాద యుగాలను పరాశ్రీ నివేదిన దర సకిరానుగత కర నివేదిన దర సకిరానుగత కర সেবাধিকার দিয়ে করো নিজ দাসী সেবাধিকার দিয়ে করো নিজ দাসী সেবাধিকার করে করো নিজ দাসী Dina Krishna Dasi ko eye namora ho eye namora Dina Krishna Dasi ko eye namora ho Shri Radha Govinda preme sadhina vasi Shri Radha Govinda preme सदा ये नवासी अनिकानि चपपानि प्रमहत्यधिकानि च कलितानि कलशन्ति परीक्षण पदे पदे अनिकानि चपपानि प्रमहत्यधिकानि च कलितानि कलशन्ति परीक्षण पदे पदे Anikani chapapani brahmahajadikani chatanitani panishanti padikshana pade pade Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Jaya Tulasi Devi Jaya Tulasi Devi Jaya Tulasi Devi Jaya Tulasi Devi Hey Jaya Tulasi Devi Tulasi Devi Tulasi Devi Jaya Tulasi Devi Baba Tulasi Devi Jaya Tulasi Devi Tulasi Devi Jaya Tulasi Devi Tulasi Devi Maharani ki jai. So now we're going to do the Kanyadan. So we need the parents of Tulasi and Saligram to come forward, please. Move back.
You're back. You stand behind.
Also, the kids were waiting for a dance for 2 minutes. Any
Yeah, okay.
Just with them.
Yeah.
Just for 2-3 minutes they have a dance.
Yeah.
Okay. Right in the front. We can move people in the back.
Okay. Yeah, you. So now we're going to do the Tulsi Kanyadan. This is the offering of the parents to the bride and to the groom. So where is Shaligram's daddy? Where did he go? Oh, here he is. Okay. Okay, where are your wives? You can't do anything without your wives. This is not a patriarchal system here. This is equal opportunity. Husband and wife together. Just like if you worship Lakshmi Devi without Narayana, she becomes chanchal. Whatever benediction she gives you, you will lose it very quickly. But when she's with her husband and you worship him together, then she's not chanchal. Yeah. So, okay, you ready? You stand behind them. Stand behind. Okay. Okay, so first, the parents of Tulsi are going to speak to Shaligram. Okay? So you just repeat what I say.
We have only one mic.
What? My dearest Shaligram.
My dear Shaligram. My dear Shaligram.
We love to see very much.
We love to see very much.
We have taken care of her.
We've taken care of her
Heart and soul.
With heart and soul.
Soul.
Given her every opportunity
given her every opportunity
to develop her spiritual qualities.
to develop her spiritual qualities.
Prayed every day.
We have prayed every day, Krishna, to protect her.
So happy.
And we are so happy. We are offering you to her to you today.
Up to you today.
We are offering
We are offering
We are offering Tulasi to you, dear Shaligram.
We have to say something about Tulsi.
We have to say something about Tulasi.
She has a very soft heart.
She has a very soft heart.
She cannot tolerate harsh speech
She cannot tolerate harsh speech
or any type of insulting talk.
or any type of insulting talk.
So we pray.
So we pray.
You will always speak to her.
You will always speak to her
Kind words,
with kind words
uplifting thoughts,
and uplifting thoughts
and never
and never
hurt her in any way.
hurt her in any way.
We have to give you a secret.
We have to give you a secret.
You must understand
You must understand
feminine psychology.
the feminine psychology.
If you say one bad word to her,
If you say one bad word to
she
her,
will never forget it.
she will never forget it.
She'll remind you the rest of your life.
She will remind you the rest of her life
Make you miserable.
and make you miserable.
Therefore,
Therefore,
never say anything harsh to Tulsi Devi.
never say anything harsh to Tulasi.
When you treat a woman
When you treat a woman
kindly,
kindly,
always are a gentleman,
always gently,
and being always positive,
and being always positive,
she will become Yogamaya
she will become Yoga Maya
and take you back to Godhead.
and take you back to Godhead.
But if you treat a woman with harshness,
But if you treat a woman with harshness,
and God forbid you strike a woman,
and God forbid you strike a woman,
then she becomes Kali Mata.
then she becomes Kali Mata
She will destroy you.
and she will destroy you.
Learn this lesson.
Learn this lesson.
Many people have made this mistake.
Many people have made this mistake.
Men think that they can harm their wife and they can get away with it.
Men think that they can harm their wife and get away with it.
Look what happened to Ravana.
Look what happened to Ravana.
You do not want to become like Ravana.
You do not want to become like
You
Ravana.
will be crushed
You will be crushed
by Kali Mata.
by Kali Mata.
So So this is a little secret for you.
This is a little secret for you.
So now, will you accept Tulsi
Now will you accept Tulasi
as your dear wife?
as your dear wife?
Always be kind to her.
Always be kind to her.
Listen to what she says.
Listen to what she says.
Otherwise, your life will be miserable.
Otherwise your life will be miserable.
Let her have the control of the money in the house.
Let her have the control of the money in the house.
Let her decorate the house as she thinks it fits.
Let her decorate the house as she thinks fit.
Just bring the money.
You just bring the money.
She'll spend it.
She'll spend it.
You understand?
Do you understand?
This is extremely important.
This is extremely important.
Keep peace in the family.
Keep peace in the family.
So will you accept her and never speak harshly to her?
Will you accept her and never speak harshly to
Always
her?
protect her.
Always protect
Always be
her.
at her side.
Always be on her side.
Never in any way separate.
Never in any way separate.
Divorce is completely forbidden.
Divorce is completely forbidden.
Will you accept her?
Will you accept her?
Okay, now Saligram has two choices. You can say yes or no. So what is Saligram going to say?
Ladies, yes.
Yes.
Unconditional yes.
Conditionally, yes.
Say it again. Say it louder. Say it.
Unconditional yes.
Now Saligram, I'm going to speak to Tulsi Devi. Our dearest Tulsi Devi.
Our dearest Tulasi Devi.
We are so happy.
We are so happy.
This is the culmination of all our dreams.
This is the culmination of all our dreams.
Our beautiful son
Our beautiful son
can be married.
can be married.
Such a chaste and beautiful woman.
Such a chaste and beautiful woman.
You know that our son Saligram loves to eat.
You know our
Son Saligram loves to eat.
He doesn't like TV dinners.
He likes
doesn't like
TV dinners.
He doesn't like Indian fast food.
He doesn't like Indian fast food.
Of course, he doesn't like onion and garlic.
Of course, he doesn't like onion and garlic.
Oh my God, never any meat,
Oh my God, never any meat,
fish,
fish,
eggs,
eggs,
or murgi.
murgi.
So we want you to know that the secret to a man's heart is through his stomach.
So we want to, the secret the stomach.
So you must make very, very nice Krishna prasad for him every day.
So you must make Krishna Prasad
every day.
The table should be set in a very beautiful way.
and the table should be set in a very beautiful way.
Flowers and candles.
Flowers and candles.
And the house should be completely clean.
And the house should be completely clean.
His clothes should be ironed very nicely by you.
And the clothes should be very nicely by you.
Chant Hare Krishna while you're doing it.
Chant Hare Krishna while doing it.
Even the clothes will be blessed.
And the clothes will be blessed.
And above all, your husband will be blessed.
And therefore your husband,
Respecting Krishna Mahaprasad.
by respecting Krishna Mahaprasad.
This is the secret to a happy marriage.
And this is the secret to our happy marriage.
Husband and wife are united and
And
have
the
the
husband-
same opinion and same conclusions about what is the goal of life. Then everything is successful.
Everything is successful.
But happy
When
marriage.
the husband and wife are united
When the husband and wife are united
with a consensus understanding,
with a consensus understanding
what is the purpose of life?
what is the purpose of life?
To go back to Godhead.
To go back to Godhead.
Not to continue and rot in the material world of birth, death, old age, and disease.
Not continue to rot in the birth, death, old age and disease.
Birth, death, old age, and disease.
Birth, old age and disease.
These things are evil.
These things are evil.
They are not meant to be born to get old, to get sick and die.
We are not
meant to get old.
Imposed on us.
This is imposed on us.
Because we have turned our back to Krishna.
Because we
We
turn
are back to Krishna.
So you have to spiritually inspire your husband.
So you have to spiritually inspire your husband.
He'll bring the money.
He'll bring the money.
And you bring the prasad.
And you bring the prasad.
Then you'll be happy.
Then you'll be happy
And peaceful.
and peaceful.
You'll both go back to Godhead.
And both go back to Godhead.
Teach your children also.
And teach your children also.
This is the most important thing.
This is the most important thing.
More important than your happiness in life is the well-being of your children.
Most important in your life is your children.
There's no question of divorce.
There's no question of divorce.
Destroy your children's psychology.
That will destroy children's psychology.
It will be the bedrock of continuity in their life.
It will be the bedrock of continuity in their life.
You have to inspire them right from their birth to be Krishna conscious.
You have to inspire right from their birth to be Krishna consciousness.
Monkey see, monkey do.
Monkey see, monkey do.
If you act like monkeys and watch television and look on the internet all the time and be on your cell phone all the time and not have time for your children, then they will do the same thing to you.
Same thing to you.
They will lock themselves in their door, in their bedroom, and be on the internet all night long talking nonsense.
They will lock themselves in the home.
Another thing, don't give them a cell phone.
Don't give them a cell phone.
That means you should not be playing on the cell phone and the internet also.
That means
You should not be playing on cell phone.
Another thing, the topper of the house should not be the 96-inch television.
It should be Radha Krishna and Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. So, our dear Tulsi, our son is going to depend on you to give the activities. Then he will understand that he has to protect you and lead you in spiritual activities. So now, dear Tulsi, do you accept Saligram Shila as your eternal husband? There will never be any separation, and you will always live together peacefully and lovingly in this lifetime.
We
Yes.
unconditionally accept, yes.
Saligrama is.
Okay, now they're going to exchange garlands. Shalavan is going to put sindoor on Tulsi Devi. Okay, dance. So we're going to now have to clear this area. Some of our young girls are going to dance, and some of our gentlemen are going to dance, just like a traditional wedding in Andhra Pradesh. I don't know. You have to move. You have to move. You have to move. Sit down, and everyone should move over a little bit. Move over a little bit here. Move back some more. Move back some more. Move back some more, please. Move back some more.
Malai satrinan, kole malai matrinan. Malai satrinan, kole malai matrinan. Malai
Tulasi Devi Maharani ki jai, Saladam Sula ki jai. So now we have to do the sindoor and then change their seat, and then the young girls are going to dance now. So put the sindoor. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, now we're going to have a dance. We need to make a little bit of room. And Saligram is putting the sindoor on Tulasi Devi. And then they're going to change seats. The wife should always be on the left of her husband. It's the sign that they are married. So, who's putting the music on?
Madharam madhuram
Start.
vadanam madhuram nayanam madhuram hasitam madhuram हृदयं मधुरं गमनं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम् अधरं मधुरं वदनं मधुरं नयनं मधुरं हसितं मधुरम् अधरं मधुरं वदनं मधुरं नयनं मधुरं हसितं मधुरं हृदयं मधुरं गमनं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं वचनं मधुरं चरितं मधुरं वसनं मधुरं वलितं मधुरं वचनं मधुरं चरितं मधुरं वसनं मधुरं वलितं मधुरं चलितं मधुरं भ्रमितं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं वेणुर्मधुरो रेणुर्मधुरः पाणिर्मधुरः पादौ मधुरं वेणुर्मधुरो रेणुर्मधुरः पाणिर्मधुरः पादौ मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं गीतं मधुरं पीतं मधुरं भुक्तं मधुरं सुप्तं मधुरं गीतं मधुरं पीतं मधुरं भुक्तं मधुरं सुप्तं मधुरं रूपं मधुरं तिलकं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं कर्णं मधुरं तरणं मधुरं हरणं मधुरं स्मरणं मधुरं कर्णं मधुरं तरणं मधुरं हरणं मधुरं स्मरणं मधुरं वमितं मधुरं शमितं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं गुञ्जा मधुरा माला मधुरा यमुना मधुरा वीची मधुरा गुञ्जा मधुरा माला मधुरा यमुना मधुरा वीची मधुरा सलिलं मधुरं कमलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं गोपी मधुरा लीला मधुरा युक्तं मधुरं मुक्तं मधुरं गोपी मधुरा लीला मधुरा युक्तं मधुरं मुक्तं मधुरं दृष्टं मधुरं शिष्टं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं गोपा मधुरा गावो मधुरा यष्टिर्मधुरा सृष्टिर्मधुरा गोपा मधुरा गावो मधुरा यष्टिर्मधुरा सृष्टिर्मधुरा दलितं मधुरं फलितं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्.
Thank our beautiful young gopis for dancing tonight in such a wonderful way. This is the real Vedic culture. Everything is uplifting. Everything has poetry to it. Everything has musical and dance and happiness. This is real life. And that's why this should be our preoccupation every day of our life, to glorify Radha and Krishna, Tulasi Saligram, and teach our children this culture so that it becomes real and they practice it the rest of their life. There must be a passation of the culture from the parents to the children. For the last 2 or 3 generations, that passation of culture has broken down in India. And therefore, it's being kept alive a little bit, but the real meaning, the whole purpose of this culture was to please Radha and Krishna or Lakshmi and Narayana or Sita Ram. And that part of it has been lost and has simply become a cultural thing rather than a spiritual cultural thing. So we want to bring back the spiritual part of this culture, which is the real original purpose of it. This dance was started, this type of dancing was started in the temples to please the Supreme Lord and his eternal consort. So that whole aspect has to be brought back. It is not simply a dance. This is a meditation of love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or Lakshmi Narayana, or Sita Ram and Lakshman Hanuman, Sita Ram, or Radha and Krishna. So that aspect has to be taught to the children primarily, and then the dance and all the gestures and all the culture behind it becomes real. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Thank you, young ladies.
Can I take it like this in the hand?
Yeah, both your hands.
tonight we also want to thank the sponsors, and there's a long list of them, 27 of this wonderful Tulasi Saligram wedding. We want to thank Nitin Majumdar, Chandra Sengalhata, Narahari Priyadas, and these are with their family also, Baladas, Krishna Chaitanya Das, Gauranga Chandra Das, Ravi Kiran Tumala, Krishna Murli Das, Rama Ragna Das, Pramukha Rajiv, Ananda Raman Das, Sita Priti, Kavita Mani, and Damodar Prasad Das, and Bona Nanchapa, Nani Avrata Das, Namavrata Das, sorry, Radhika Veera Mataji, Pragati Bhagavat and Aryan, Jaipal Nala and Sushma, Bajahari Prabhu, Pandava Vijay Prabhu and family, Sham Mukund Prabhu and family, Srinivas Saran and family, Radhavinod Prabhu and family, Chaitanya Sundar and family, Sridhar Gopal Prabhu and family, Brajakripa Prabhu and family, Brajahari Prabhu and family. Thank you very, very much.
Also, Devanath Hari Prabhu.
And also Devanath Hari Prabhu and family. Thank you very, very much. Now we'll continue with the marriage ceremony. We have the fire sacrifice, right? Okay, we'll start the fire sacrifice. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Bolo bolo, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Gaur Nityananda Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaur Nityananda Bol, Hari 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 Bol, and Jaya Sachinandana, Jaya Sachinandana, Bolo Jai Sachinandana, Jai Sachinandana. Jai Sachinandana, Jai Sachinandana. Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hare. Bolo Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hare. Bolo Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hare. Gaura Hare, Gaura Hare. Hey Bolo Gaura Hare, Gaura Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hey, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hey, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hey, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Bora Hare Bol, Nitya Gaura Hare Bol. Nitya Gaura Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Gaura Hare Bol, Nitya Gaura Hare Bol. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, come on, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Guru Premanande, Hare Bol. Hare Krishna. Please be seated. We will call the sponsors first. Who actually sponsor, they can come and sit here and do the Havan. Five families at a time. When they are done, the next batch will call. And after that, everybody will get a chance to do the Havan also. First, the sponsors. Hare Krishna. Haribo, Haribo. Everybody please sit down. Now we're going to all repeat a special mantra that glorifies Tulsi Devi. Anyone while worshiping Tulsi Devi chants the following 8 names of her lordship will get the same result as one who performs the Ashwamedha Yajna. A one who on the full moon day of Kartik, Tulsi Devi's appearance day, worships her with this mantra will break free from the bonds of this miserable world of birth and death and very quickly attains Goloka Vrindavana. On the full moon day of Kartik, Lord Krishna himself worships Tulsi Devi with this mantra. One who remembers this mantra will very quickly attain devotion to Lord Krishna's lotus feet. So please repeat after me. Vrindavani, Vrinda, Vishwapujita, Pushpasara, Nandina, Krishna Jivani, Vishva Pavani. Tulsi. Vrindavani means one who first manifested in Vrindavan. Vrinda means the goddess of all plants and trees. Even if one Tulsi plant is present in a forest, it can be called Vrindavana. Vishva Pujita means one whom the whole universe worships. Pushpasara means the topmost of all flowers, without whom Krishna does not like to look upon other flowers. Nandini, seeing whom gives unlimited bliss to the devotees. Krishna Jivani is the life of Krishna. Vishvapavani, one who purifies the three worlds. And Tulsi, one who has no comparison. So we'll say it one more time. Vrindavani, Vrinda, Vishvapujita, Pushpasara, Nandina, Krishna Jivani, Vishvapavani, Tulsi, Tulsi Devi Maharani ki. Now I'm going to sing a very special glorification of Tulsi Devi. And it says, O Tulsi Maharani, O Vrinda, O Mother of Devotion, O Narayani, I offer my obeisances to you again and again. By seeing you, or even by touching you, all sins are destroyed. Your glories are described in the Vedas and Puranas. Your leaves and soft manjaris are entwined at the lotus feet of Narayana, the Lord of Lakshmi. O blessed Mother Tulsi, you performed successful austerities and have thus become the chief consort and queen of Sri Shalagrama Shila. You engladden and shower your rain of mercy upon one who offers you some incense, a ghee lamp, naivedya, and arati. The Lord does not care for even one of 56 varieties of cooked food or 36 different curries offered without Tulsi leaves. Lord Shiva, Sukadev Goswami, Devarsi Narada, and all the Gyanis and great Munis headed by Lord Brahma are circumambulating you. O Mother, O Maharani, Chandrasekhara, the author, thus sings your glories. Please bestow upon him and to all the gift of pure devotion, Prema Bhakti. All kinds of sinful people, even a murderer of a Brahmana, can become pure by circumambulating Shri Tulsi Devi step by step. So this is a very beautiful bhajan, glorifying Tulsi Devi, and I'm going to chant it. Then you can all join with me. Namo Namaha Tulasi Maharani, Namo Namaha Tulasi Maharani, Vrinde Maharani, Namo Namaha Tulasi Maharani, Vrinde Maharani, Namo Namaha. Namo Re Maya, Namo Narayani, Namo Re Maya, Namo Narayani, Bolo Namo Re Maya, Namo Narayani, Namo Re Maya, Namo Narayani, Namo Namaha Tulasi Maharani, Vrinde Maharani, Namo Namaha Tulasi Maharani, Vrinde Maharani Namo Namaha. Bolo Tulasi Maharani Rinde Maharani Namo Namaha. Tulasi Maharani Rinde Maharani Namo Namaha. Namo re meya Namo Narayani. Namo re meya Namo Narayani. Bolo Namo re meya Namo Narayani. Namo re meya Namo Narayani. Namo re meya Namo Narayani. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Namo re meya Namo Narayani. Namo re meya Namo Narayani. Namo Namaha Tulasi Maharani Vinde Maharani. Namo Namaha Tulasi Maharani Vinde Maharani. Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Saptapadi. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namo Namaha Tulasi Maharani Vrinde, Maharani, Namo Namaha Tulasi Maharani Vrinde, Maharani, Namo Nara, Namo Re Meya, Namo Narayani, Namo Re Meya, Namo Narayani, Namo Re Meya, Namo Narayani, Namo Re Meya, Namo Narayani. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Tulsi Maharani Jaya, Tulsi Maharani, Tulsi Maharani Jaya, 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 Tulsi Devi 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 Jaya, Tulsi Devi. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gora Hari Bol, Nita Gora Hari Bol, Nita Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gora Hari Bol, Tai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nita Gora Hari Bol, Nita Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nita Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gora Hari Bol, Nita Gora Hari Bol, Nita Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gora Hari Bol, Gora Hari Bol. Jai.
So now I'm going to read a few things about Tulsi. Shri Radha, the goddess of the Rasa dance, spoke to her friend Chandranana, the best of the knowers of religion. Shri Radha said, "Please tell me what kind of worship I should perform to please Shri Krishna. Worship that will bring auspiciousness, piety, and the fulfillment of my desire. O beautiful one, you have heard the religious scriptures from Garga Muni's own mouth. O noble-hearted one, please tell me what vow or what worship I should perform." Hearing Radha's words and reflecting on them in her heart for a moment, Chandranana, the best of all friends, replied, "O Radha, service to Tulasi gives the greatest piety, the greatest good fortune, and the greatest benediction. It gives Lord Krishna's association. You should always gaze on Tulsi, touch her, then she will grant your desire." They who day after day serve Tulsi in these 9 ways attain the results of pious deeds performed in many thousands of millions of yugas. As many branches, sub-branches, seeds, flowers, and leaves are on the Tulsi plant, one who has planted Tulsi, therefore, so many ancestors and descendants in such a family
for thousands of Kalpa Yugas will go to Lord Krishna's transcendental abode. In other words, what's being said here is, if you plant a tulsi plant in your home and you worship her every day by giving her water and prayers, then so many of your ancestors and descendants in your family for thousands of Kalpa Yugas will go to Lord Krishna's transcendental abode. O Radha, by offering him every flower and leaf that exists, a person who, with offerings of tulsi leaves, worships Lord Krishna is not touched by sin. In other words, whenever you make an offering to Krishna, there must be a tulsi leaf, otherwise he won't accept it. He won't accept it. And if you do this, a person who offers tulsi leaves, worships Lord Krishna, such a person is not touched by sin as a lotus is not touched by water. A home in the midst of a tulsi forest is a sacred pilgrimage place. Yamaraja's servants will never enter that home. For persons who plant, protect, water, see or touch tulsi, tulsi burns the sins committed with the body, mind, and words. On a single tulsi leaf, the holy places beginning with Pushkara, the sacred rivers beginning with the Ganga, and the deities headed by Lord Vasudeva reside. Even though stained with 100 sins, a person who touches a tulsi manjari as he leaves this life does not see Yamaraj. O friend, as four-faced Brahma cannot describe all the glories of Lord Krishna, who holds the Saranga bow, so he cannot describe all the glories of Tulsi Devi. A man or woman who offers sandal paste and tulsi to Sri Krishna Chandra's feet attains the results I have told to you. O Gopi, O Radha, serve tulsi every day, then Sri Krishna will come under your control, having won his heart. After hearing Chandra Nana's words, Sri Radha, the queen of the Rasa dance, in order to please Lord Krishna, began to serve tulsi. Taking tulsi, beautiful with many green leaves, to the middle of a Ketaki forest, and placing her in a tulsi temple that was round, tall, and 100 hastas in size, beautiful with walls of gold and rubies, splendid with an outer wall of emeralds, diamonds, and pearls, decorated with chintamani gems, arched gateways, gold flags, and gold awnings everywhere, and glorious like Indra's palace at that time of the star Abhijit, saintly Radha served tulsi, beginning with the full moon of the month of Asvina, September, October, and ending with the full moon of Chaitra, March, April, to please Sri Krishna. Saintly Radha followed the vow with great devotion. Month after month, she sprinkled tulsi with milk, sugarcane juice, grape juice, mango juice, panchamrit, and many kinds of sweet and cool juices. On the first day of Vaishaka, April-May, she ended the vow. King Vishabhana's daughter, Radha, then pleased 200,000 brahmanas with a great feast of 56 courses. Then Radha gave them dakshina of 100 baras of gold and pearls to each brahmana. The demigods showered flowers on the Tulsi temple. Then, seated on a glorious throne on a golden pedestal, her eyes like lotus petals, and her gold crown and earrings glittering, beautiful four-armed Tulsi, who is dear to Lord Krishna, appeared, descending from the sky. Tulsi, beautiful as a flowering vine, with her forearms, braids, were covered with a yellow cloth. With her forearms embraced and then kissed Radha, who wore a new Vajayanti garland, and whose snake-like braids were covered with a yellow cloth. Shri Tulsi said, O daughter of Kalavati, I am pleased with you. I am eternally conquered by your loving devotion. O beautiful one, as if you were an ordinary human being, you very carefully followed this vow. The desire that fills your heart, mind, intelligence, and senses will be attained. Lord Krishna will be kind to you, and you are very fortunate. To Tulsi, who spoke these words and who is dear to Lord Krishna, Radha bowed and said, May I have unalloyed devotion for Lord Krishna's lotus feet, saying, So be it. Krishna's beloved Tulsi disappeared. Then Radha, King Vrishabhana's daughter, went home happy at heart. A devotee who hears this wonderful story of Sri Radha attains first the three goals of material life and then the supreme spiritual goal of eternal life. Tulsi Devi Maharani ki jai! Gaura Premanandi! So now we're going to make a gigantic offering to Tulsi and Saligram. No festival is a success without prasad. But first you have to offer it to Radha and Krishna. And now we're going to offer it to Krishna and Saligram. Go to Premanandi. Yeah. Bhaja Govinda Govinda Gopala. 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 Govinda Govinda Gopala. Govinda Govinda Gopala. Govinda Govinda Gopala. Govinda Govinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Bhaja Govinda Govinda Gopala.
Bhaja
Bhaja Govinda Govinda Gopala.
Bhaja Govinda Govinda Gopala.
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 Bhaja Govinda Govinda Gopala.
Bhaja Govinda Govinda Gopala.
Bhaja Govinda Govinda Gopala.
Bhaja Govinda Govinda Gopala.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama Ram Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama Ram Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama Ram Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol.
Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol.
Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol.
Gopala, Gopala, Yashoda Nandana Gopala, 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 Yashoda Nandana Gopala, 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 Yashoda Nandana Gopala.
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 Bolo Gopala, Gopala, Yashoda Nandana Gopala.
Gopala, Gopala, Yashoda Nandana Gopala.
Hey, Gopala, Gopala, Yashoda Nandana Gopala.
Gopala, Gopala, Yashoda Nandana Gopala.
Bolo Gopala, Gopala, Yashoda Nandana Gopala. Gopala, Gopala, Yashoda Nandana Gopala. Bolo Gopala, Gopala, Yashoda Nandana Gopala.
Gopala, Gopala, Yasoda Nandana Gopala.
Gopala, Gopala, Yasoda Nandana Gopala. Bolo.
Gopala, Gopala, Yasoda Nandana Gopala.
Bolo Gopala, Gopala, Yasoda Nandana Gopala.
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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hey, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Bolo Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hari Bol, Gora Hari Bol, Nitai Gora Hari Bol,
Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gora Hari Bol.
Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gora Hari Bol, Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gora Hari Bol. Tulsi Devi Maharani ki jai. So the best part of the program is respecting Mahaprasad. So now please take prasadam to your full satisfaction. Remember everything we said about Tulsi tonight. If you can't remember it, I will send you a copy so you can read it every day. There's also a birthday tonight of our dear friend and devotee Yasoda Dulal Das. Hari Bol. Is he here or has he run away due to his humility? Oh, here he is, right here. He's hiding. Huh? Yeah, he's 16 today. That's right. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Center, Prabhu, not in front of the speaker.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare. Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. I got it. Gaura Premanande, Tulsi Devi Maharani ki jai. So now we're going to cut Tulsi Devi's cake. It's a beautiful cake. Look how it's decorated. Nice designs. These are all signs of love. And also we have a cake today for Tulsi, for Yasoda Dalal Prabhu's 50th birthday. Hari Bol.
Namo Namaha Tulasi Krishna Preyasi Namo Namaha Tulasi Maharani Vrinde Maharani Namo Namaha Namo Re Maya Namo Narayani Hare Namo Re Maya Namo Narayani Vrinde Maharani Namo Namaha Vrinde Maharani Namo Namaha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Tulsi Devi Maharani ki jai. So this is the 50th anniversary of Yashoda Dalal Prabhu. That means now he's going to take sannyas. He's already a sannyasi, believe me. He's very, very renounced. Hare Krishna, how are you? Yes, yes. So, on this occasion, I pray to Radha and Krishna and Tulsi and Saligram that they always bless Yasodalal and his family with wisdom, with affection, with patience, with tolerance, with compassion, and all good qualities so that he can inspire many other people and his family and his friends to go back to Godhead. And of course, that means he's going too. So, on this occasion, we want to cut this cake and say, Hare Krishna to you, Hare Krishna to you, Hare Krishna, dear Yasodalal Prabhu, Hare Krishna to you. Go to Premanande, Haribo, Haribo, Haribo. Here you are, Prabhu. This is for your daughter. Hare Krishna. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Walk around. Gaur Nityananda bol, Hari bol, Hari bol. Gaur Hari bol, Gaur Hari bol. Jai Nityananda, Jai Nityananda. Gaur Hari bol, Gaur Hari bol. Gaur Hari bol, Gaur Hari bol. Gaur Hari bol, Gaur Hari bol. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Tulasi Maharani, 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 Jaya Tulsi Devi, Jaya Tulsi Devi, Jaya Tulsi Devi, Jaya Tulsi Devi, Jaya Tulsi Maharani, Jaya Tulsi Maharani, Tulsi Maharani, Jaya Tulsi Maharani, Haribol, Haribol, Gora Haribol, Nita Gora Haribol, Nita Gora Haribol, Haribol, Gora Haribol, Nita Gora Haribol. Tulsi Devi Maharani ki jai. Jai Om Ishtapad Mahansa Pararajika Chasta Tulasi Saligram Vivaha, His Divine Grace. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Samakunda Radha Kunya Giri Govardhana ki jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Shri Mayapura Dham ki jai. Jagannath Puri Dham ki jai. Tulasi Devi ki jai. Bhakti Devi ki jai. Ganga Maya ki jai, Jamuna Maya ki jai, Samaveda Bhaktavinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Tulasi Saligram Vivaha ki jai, Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the Son of the Word, all glories to the Son of the Word, all glories to the Son of the Word, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, Patita Pavani ki jai. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paskatya Desatani Tulsi Devi Maharani Ki